Les jeux sont fatigués. Ça va pas mal. Entrepreneur, advising, entrepreneur aussi. Équipe N.
Ah, c'est bon ça. Les autres ont peut-être entendu hein, quand je parlais des relations entre entrepreneurs et tout conseiller entrepreneur dans le cocktail. Parce qu'on leur expliquait que les conseillers, à cause de la manière qu'on est structuré quand ils rencontrent les propriétaires de PME, c'est pas juste de conseiller propriétaire, c'est l'entrepreneur aussi, la relation fait des idées.
Bonjour et bienvenue à la ronde 1 du Cas Innovation entrepreneuriale. Préférez-vous les instructions en français? Do you prefer the instruction in English?
English, please.
Each team has 10 minutes to present its case to the judges. The time is indicated on the timer as a countdown. In case of a problem, I will indicate the time with posters. If you do not end your presentation after 10 minutes, it will be stopped to move on to the period of question. Please note that you cannot reveal the name of city of your university as you may be disqualified. I would like to ask the public to turn off their cell phone. I will now invite the judges to introduce themselves. Je vais maintenant laisser les juges se présenter et ensuite vous pourrez débuter votre présentation.
Hello. My name is Martin Poirier, Managing Director for SFL Financial Center for the succession planning purposes in the Montreal area.
Good morning. My name is Amélie Bédard. I'm associate in the Financial Center SFL, and I'm a director of business development as well.
My name is Patrick Berard. I'm the executive director of IMA Quebec Foundation, as well as one of the co-founders of Commerce Gaming.
In today's fast-pacing business environment, an entrepreneurial spirit is required in everyone. So that's where we come in as E&E Advising Incorporated. We are the entrepreneurial advising firms for workers with an entrepreneurial spirit. So we've gone through our SFL training process. We're business school graduates. We have a lot of knowledge and know-how in the wealth management industry. We're very excited to take on this new opportunity to go into the wealth management firm and serve our entrepreneurial clients. So today we'll be going through our innovation that we have to propose for you. My name is Hannah, this is Willing, and this is François Xavier, also known as FX. So, who are we? We're not just E&E, a fancy name of the entrepreneurial firm. We are so much more. We want to target our entrepreneurs because there's a huge opportunity to find that especially in today's environment, to find the entrepreneurs, give them advice, and we're the main people for that. Secondly, we have a hybrid robo-advising platform. So we will combine two main points of advisement, our human connection, as well as a new trend in robo-advising to leverage technology as well as a human connection. Third, we are focused on long-term relationship building and growth. Clients, especially in wealth management, need to see their customer journey from beginning to end. They want to see their wealth managed properly from when they're joining the firm, going through their career, and we want to build the relationship from start to finish. So that is us, E&E Advising. Now we're going to go through some more specifics of what our product will offer and how this innovation is a great opportunity for SFL as a firm and for us.
Thank you very much. So after finishing our training, we set out to look in the market and see what kind of opportunities are out there for us to recruit some new clients. So some of the main trends that we recognize in the market is, first, there was millennials. Millennials We are millennials. We are starting to grow that with that group segment, and they represent half of the retail assets over the next 15 years. So we're a young firm, and we're going really for the long-term and a long-term sustainable approach. So we really want to get those customers and grow with them. And this really represents the transfer of wealth and opportunity from the money that's going to be bringing into that generation. After that, we really noticed that, especially in Quebec, there was a really big tech sector in Montreal especially. Montreal is the AI capital pretty much of the world. Facebook is moving in, you have Ubisoft, you have all these great companies and all these great tech startups. So with all these tech startups, you need insurance, you need risk mitigation, you need liability protection, you need all these kind of structures that need to be surrounded by these startups and entrepreneurs, and also workers in the tech environment. So with the tech aspect, we also have the Montreal aspect. We think it's especially a great market for us because it has a high growth rate of 11.9%, and it's also 21.3% of the Quebec population. So it's a big pool of people who are really targeted with our approach of tech-based approach. Lastly, we see there's still an opportunity for your firm in Quebec. This is because Industrial Alliance is still having a highest market share compared to SFL, and it has also the highest growth rate. This may be due, in fact, by the acquisition that they recently made with another advising branch. After that, we have also Sun Life, our competitors in SFL, with 16.6% of the market share. So we believe that there's still room for growth, and we don't have the highest growth rate. So by doing this approach of hybrid investment and advising, we can really get that ball rolling. So what we're asking, so with that opportunity in mind, we are asking for $125,000. That money is going to be well spent. It's going to be first spent on web-based app development because we truly want our client to have a technological advantage by choosing our firm. Because we're targeting tech people, our website and our app really needs to be at the quality that they expect it to be. After that, we want to spend some money on the marketing, and that will include advertising with some of the firms that are locally in Montreal, the tech startup environment, and the client acquisition that ties into that also. And also some of the fees that we are expecting to be incurring are the professional structuring advice for our products that we'll be offering. So our products and offerings. So as I mentioned, we're targeting new and upcoming tech firms and also tech workers that are entering the industry. So they need new tech firms. They need tax structuring, corporate structuring. They need also insurance and risk mitigation for the owners and the employees. They also need personal estate protection, liability protection when they're starting a new venture. And that really ties into all the insurance aspect that Desjardins has to offer as a partner from SFL. Our products, as we mentioned, they're hybrid robo-advising. So what we mean by that is that it's really a standardized approach that we want to use. We want to use a standardized framework that we really tailor to the specific client. So we have, since we're targeting the same type of consumers, the same type of clients, we can use the same approach over and over, but we can really tailor those offerings to the specific clients and their needs. Lastly, our products are really, since we have the investment and the strategy really under a standardized process that we tailor, then we can really focus on the authentic human contact with the clients to really get those clients to retain a long-term relationship.
All right, thank you, FX. So as he mentioned, here is our typical customer, John. Meet John. So basically, he might be around 25 years old. He is a worker in a fast-moving entrepreneurial firm. So he is an entrepreneurial worker working in the Montreal startup. And he's looking to manage his finances because millennials in this era already have a really big conscious on how to preserve and accumulate their wealth from an early age. So he has that need that he wants to manage his finances. Now, what is a typical John in the tech industry look for in wealth management, and why does E&E cater to him? well, maybe he doesn't have a lot of time to go to some remote locations that SFL or ENE has. So basically, we have maybe an online option to meet with him for advising to accommodate his needs. And second of all, he wants to save on a regular basis. And so by having this web-based app in development, he'll be able to track his investments whenever he wishes to. Especially working in the tech industry, he already knows that he wants to keep a track of his own investments, seeing that all these young professionals want an increased control in their personal investments. And so he also earns more than $50K a year, which also speaks to why they'll be looking to us specifically for our help. And let me bring you through our actual process. So we have a three-step process at ENE. The first process is a standardized initial contact. Now this is where we create our online platform, which establishes a framework for the client profile. What does that mean? Well, when you first log onto the ENE website, we'll develop a chat or a robot that will ask you some questions about your basic needs. So for instance, it can ask you, is your main goal to save? What is your risk tolerance level? What are you looking for, a long-term investment, or are you looking for something that is more short-term? Now, based on these questions, our robot will select a recommendation it'll go through all the products that SFL currently offers and give you a selection that it thinks that will most suit your investment needs. And based on the selection, the client now has two options. He can either select to go ahead with these robot-based recommendations and make those investments, or he can select to book an appointment with an actual advisor who will then, at the appointment, walk through these options with him and tailor them to form an optimal combination. And after the meeting, we'll continue to keep in touch with them for continuous improvements throughout his investment journey.
So thank you very much for listening to our pitch. We hope you consider our ask. And remember, ENE Advising, the entrepreneurial firm for entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.